Today is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024, and this video is part of a larger series I've been doing on this entire job here. We had to raise the front of this mechanic's garage up 2 feet. So we shored up that back wall, the back half of the roof, and demoed the front half, picked it up, put a new beam in, put new rafters in, rafter ties, and as you can see, we just got the plywood done. My guys did this yesterday. It's not a particularly hard part of the job, but makes a big difference. We are well on our way to finishing this up, and I have the engineer coming today to check out our framing. He hasn't been here in a few weeks, and we've gotten a lot done since then. So my guys are coming today. We got to finish the collar ties up top there. Now, collar ties connect the top of the rafters and go right under the ridge. We have them on this side of the building, the one that has the rafter ties. We did not put them on this side yet. That is going to be a vaulted ceiling. So they're going to work on that today. We have to finish a few strips of plywood on the back half. Now, we had taken off a couple of boards on the top up there to give us better access to the rafters while we were putting the beams up, and we just need to throw those strips on. So my guys are pulling in now, so I'm gonna get back to recording a little later, but still haven't gotten my metal brackets that we need to tie this truss together. But once we get those metal brackets installed and the rest of the beam welded, because he still hasn't done that, we can take all our temporary shoring down, all of this part of the shoring. We're also working on a change order to pick those electrical conduits up above the rafter ties, and then they're gonna come out and cross the vaulted ceiling to get over there where they need to be. And the original plan was to either strap them to the ceiling or hang them down a little bit with some strut, but we decided we want to bury those up top just to keep them better protected. So yeah, everything's coming together quick here. It's going to be real nice to get this temp wall down and get these 2x4s out of our way, and then we could take those joists, the old joists, out as well. So I will be back later. It's still early, it's about 6:45 right now, and it's supposed to be in the upper 90s today, so we're starting early, but it's been really brutally hot lately, so we're trying to get it done before the heat kicks in. So anyway, I'll be back a little later, and thanks for watching. Today is Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. We're in week 12 of this job, and we're moving pretty quick right now. We got the masonry finished for now. He didn't do that one post over there because we might have a change order that we're going to address. We're still waiting for a response from the company. Plywood's all done, and we left it hanging over here because we need to fix this rake edge board or replace it because we had to take the old one off and the angle's different now. So we're probably just gonna do something to match up there. And we're trying to get this roof done Friday. I got a few things I need to do before that. My metal guy is coming today to finish welding those posts to the beam. Should have been done a long time ago, but he just hasn't gotten back up here. And now, if he doesn't do that today, he's gonna hold us up because tomorrow we need to put this fascia board on, which is basically just some ripped plywood that's gonna go on the front there. Because if we're doing the roof on Friday, we need to put our drip edge there. So the fascia board needs to be in place. So today I'm gonna confirm what color shingles. They said something light gray or medium gray, and I'm looking to get that delivery dropped either later tomorrow or first thing Friday morning while they're demoing the back half of the shingles. Now that behind this building is the neighbor's parking lot, and they already said that we can put a dumpster there and cone it off, and obviously we're gonna clean it up nice, but that's gonna help us a lot when we're demoing the back half of the shingles. And so I gotta get a dumpster dropped tomorrow afternoon back there. Gotta call up that neighbor and just confirm with him that we're trying to do it Friday morning. And let's see, the guys, I had to leave a little earlier, but the guys, it looks like they almost finished the collar ties up there, so that's good. We're using the 2x6s that were taken off of our temp wall, so they just have 3 more to do. I don't know if we're gonna do one on that last one because we can't screw from the other side. That should be all right. The engineer stopped by yesterday. He said that everything looked really good. He complimented us, which I was happy to hear that. And he also said we're good to take this temp wall down. So that's gonna make a big difference. We already started taking some of the boards out. So today I'm just here to nail down all these roofing details, and hopefully my metal guy shows up kind of early. I don't plan to stay too long. But you know, we're really in the home stretch here, so I'm pretty excited to really get these finishes started. So my metal guy said he was gonna try to work on these brackets. I'm hoping he got it welded together because we still need to put those big brackets up on the truss. And I don't feel comfortable taking off my shoring until those brackets are in, and we can't do our framing inspection until that's done. So once we do the framing inspection, then we can get the electrical roughed in, and then they do another electrical inspection, and then we do insulation. We do an insulation inspection. Once that gets passed, we're good to go until the final inspection. So pretty I'm worried that the inspections are going to add a lot of lag time on this, because we can't schedule the inspection until we're fully ready, because God forbid they come out to inspect and something happened. Like, for example, you know, if I scheduled the framing inspection, my metal guy tells me he's bringing these brackets, but he doesn't bring them, and the framing inspector comes out from the town, they're gonna get pissed and then probably not be easy to work with moving forward. So you gotta wait till you're ready, then you schedule it, and you never know what they're gonna say. Maybe they'll say, oh, well, we're busy, we can't get out till next week. We gotta sit around waiting for them. So now this one, I told the mason not to finish the bricks up top because, like I discussed before, we're waiting for approval. These 2 doors might get turned into 1 door so that they can center the lift on that 1 bay, which would be in the middle of this area. And they have not given us an answer on that yet. So if they say no, we're not gonna bother with that, then this just gets the bricks up top. If they say go ahead, then we need to dig new footings. Right, basically in the middle of these 2 openings, there's gonna be another footing. Then we build up the brick column. We don't need the metal post up top if we're just doing the brick columns from scratch. They're gonna be block in the middle, similar to this. Rebars, block, brick veneer with a 42-inch deep footing. And the opening will be the same width so that we can reuse the doors that they have. So let's go look at the Gantt chart quick. Right now it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. My crew is not coming here today. We'll be back tomorrow. So we got, I think I'm up to date on this. Yeah, we're really drawn in on the home stretch here. So I think that's all I got for you now. I will be back later. Looks like my guys didn't do a very good cleanup job yesterday, but that's okay. I got plenty of time to clean today. So yeah, I'll be back. Thanks for watching. Today is Thursday, July 18th. We are 2024. We are in week 11 on this job, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's week 11. And to be honest, I never really keep track of weeks in my jobs. It's only because I'm doing these weekly videos that I have a count going. But today we got that rake edge board and the fascia board in. We also did the rake edge on the other side of the building because tomorrow we are doing the roof. We're starting, at least. It should be about 2 days of work if everything goes well. It's about 50 squares or 5,000 square feet of roofing. Got the material dropped off this morning. Got 3 pallets of shingles back there, plus all my accessories. Had to go back and grab some seam tape for the plywood because I forgot to order that yesterday. But we also started dismantling the temporary wall over here. Got a good amount of that taken apart. It was just 2 guys today. We got here at 8 and they left around 4 o'clock. And right now it's about 4:40. I just went and grabbed something to eat because I didn't really have lunch today. And so tomorrow we're getting here at 7 to start the roof, and I'm gonna be working on these metal brackets, getting them installed up there on the joint between the horizontal and diagonal members of the truss. I'm gonna quickly go over my plan because this is gonna be real tricky getting these lined up, and I know I'm gonna have issues getting the bolts through both sides through the metal. So brackets are down here. I'll just show 1, one of these for now. I don't think I showed these yesterday. I think I had them here. So here's the brackets, and I laid them out a little bit so that when I go to put them up on the LVLs, I have a line to reference off of. I'm going to draw a center line along the board, and I can line this up to it. And what I'm going to do is clamp or maybe temporarily tack it on with some screws to hold it in place, and then I'm going to draw all these, mark these holes on the LVL on one side. I have to do it from the far side of the building, drilling this way, because, well, I guess I don't really have to. I could choose either side, but there's a little more room on that side, and I have to drill holes in the rafter alongside it in order to fit the drill bit in place. And to be honest, I might go the other way on this one. I might drill my holes that way, and then, no, I'm not going to do that, because then I would be drilling holes through the rafter tie as well. So I have to drill holes in the rafter right next to it, right about there. And I'm going to do clearance holes that are about 2 inches with a hole saw, relatively centered where the hole needs to be. And then I'm going to start laying out my holes exactly. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that. I have a good idea, and it's a lot of work for each hole. The hard ones are going to be the ones on the diagonal piece because of the clearance issue I have with the rafter next to it. So these 3 holes are going to be more challenging. These I can just go straight in. They're on that horizontal member. I got full line of sight. So I added these holes here because I didn't like how far away these bolt holes are, and the 2 boards, this would be the horizontal, this is the end of the horizontal board going that way, and this is the diagonal board. The seam is right here, and this gap was really big, so I added these holes, and I'm going to put those big SDS 25-300 screws in there. That's one of the shorter ones. 3-inch long SDS 25-300. These names of these screws are weird, but that's what they call them. And this is going to provide a lot of extra support in the middle there at the furthest point from the bolt holes. So I'm trying to think of it like, if this thing ever did fail, what would happen? And I feel like this plate would start bending right here where the 2 boards meet, and it's such a big gap between the bolts. So that's my theory on that. So anyway, the process is going to be, I have all these different drill bits. Now this is the one I think I need to use, because this is called an auger bit, or a ship auger bit. Not exactly sure. This one has 3 flutes, which I'm not sure if that really makes any of the difference that I need, but I might have to use this one too because of the length. This has a 1/4 inch shaft, so I have a lot of 1/4 inch bit holders that will hold it. Now the thing is, this bit here, I drilled this on my drill press last night, and it's a 1-inch bit. The bolt already fits through it, I know that. Now the thing about this bit is that it stays a solid 1 inch in diameter down these flutes. And this one does too, but this one is a snug fit in the hole. This one, not so much. So the other one's a little wider. So that might help me, but I might have to use this one though. So anyway, getting a little ahead of myself. What I need to do once I have these holes marked on the LVL, I take off the bracket and then I go in there and find the center of that hole really carefully. I'm gonna mark it with a pencil so I get a nice fine mark on it and a nice cross in the middle. Then I'm gonna start with a little drill bit, like a 1/8 inch drill bit. And I'm gonna step it up to, the thing about starting with a 1/8 inch bit is I can get it right on my cross mark, and even if it wobbles a little bit before it bites into the wood, it's gonna be really close to the center of that. And then when I step it up to 1/4 inch, or maybe a little bigger than that, it should find the center of that hole and make that hole bigger but with the same center. Then I'm going to use one of these. These are great little tools to have. With the 1/4 inch bit, I'm going to clamp this to the LVL with a nice long 1/4 inch bit. I'm going to go all the way through the LVL. It's 5 1/4 inches thick with the 3 of them. And then I go in with this guy and I'm going to clamp. So I'm going to have this, hold on, I need to put this down for a minute. It's a real tight fit, jeez. I'm trying to get this thing in here. So I'm going to start it with something like this. I'm going to have a 1/4 inch hole in the LVL already. I'm going to put this against the LVL with that pilot tip sticking out into my pilot hole, and then I'm going to clamp this to the LVL really tight. So I'm going to use either heavy duty C clamp. I have this clamp right here, actually has 800 pounds of clamping force because you can tighten it with that screw. So I might bring my long reach C clamps I have at my house and do it that way. But I need, now the point of this block with the hole in the middle is that it should transfer that straight line. Since I did it on my drill press, I'm assuming it's perpendicular to the surface, and then it should get me all the way through the other side of the LVL with minimal error, and should come out the other side the same relative position. I don't know if I'm explaining that the best, but it's going to be a real challenge to get these holes lined up. And I'm assuming I'm going to have to widen some of the holes, which isn't that big a deal, but I want to not have to do that much. So the first side should be pretty easy to fit the bolts through all these holes and then into the LVL, because I'm using my circles I lay out from the bracket. The question is, when I get to the other side, is the bracket going to fit over those bolts coming out the other side of the wood? And that's where it's going to get tricky. So I know this is going to be a challenge tomorrow. I've thought a lot about the problems I could potentially run into and what I'm going to do about it, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to get it one way or the other, but Well, it just depends on how easy it is. So that's my plan for tomorrow while the guys are doing the roof. I'm gonna be working on that. And we got this dumpster picked up because it was full, and the dumpster company is supposed to be dropping a container on the back side of this building. They have not brought it yet, but because we never demoed the shingles off the back, so we're gonna start. We had to get permission from the next door owner, which they were fine with, and so we're gonna start on the back, demo that whole back, and I'm hoping they can get the whole side done tomorrow because we're getting that dumpster picked up in the afternoon towards the end of the day. Now, we don't need a dumpster necessarily on that side for them to install them. We just need to keep our waste, you know, throw it to the front, but it's gonna really help having that dumpster in the back when we do demo, because we don't wanna walk all that debris back up the roof and then throw it off the front. That would be a lot of extra work. So anyway, I think that's all for today. Once we get those metal brackets in, I'm gonna feel better about taking the rest of the shoring down over there. And after we demo this temporary wall, we're pulling our crew out of here for a while for the electrical to get done. And yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird not having the guys here every day, but anyway, I am out of here, and thanks for watching. Have a good night. Today is Friday, July 19th, I think. Yes, that would be 19th, 2024. We are in week 11 of this job, and today was a very good day. We've had a lot of those on this job. I'm very thankful for that. We got the back half of the roof demoed of the old shingles. Those were left there throughout this whole job. And we got a lot of prep work done on the front. We have our plywood joints taped. We have a lot of the drip edge and rake edge installed. And those strips on the bottom are the 2 courses of ice and water. So right now it is 6:30. Got here at 7:30 this morning, maybe even earlier, but it was a good day. I was talking about this a little bit yesterday, our roofing material. This was over $10,000 in material, and show a little bit what we're working with. We just went with this this is like the mesh ridge vent. It's not the premium stuff, but this is not a premium house or anything like that. Still does the job. This is the roof deck tape. I think it's butyl tape. It's like a thick, sticky rubber. You can kind of see how thick it is. And when you put this down over the seams, I don't know if this is necessarily required, but we use the roller it's a zip system roller to make it adhere better. Over here we have, these are the rake edges. They go on the diagonal ends of the roof that go up to the ridge. And these are the drip edges that go on the bottom. and that over, see, well, it's upside down, you'll just have to picture it this way, but the way this flares out on the bottom, that kind of leads the water right into the gutter because it juts out about an inch further than the edge. So what else? They went with pewter gray Timberline HDZ, and we also have our synthetic membrane underlayment in here. I don't know if this is gonna let me go sideways. Well, I don't see where it says what it is, but so that's pretty much what comprises a roof system. Now, my big excitement for the day, because I don't get up there on the roof and help with that. We have a contract or a sub crew that does roofs all day, and that's what they do. So I just kind of make sure they have what they need and keep things going on the ground. But today, got my first set of brackets installed. So this is a huge, for me, huge accomplishment. I'm really happy with the way it came out. Now, we have almost full thread engagement on those nuts, and that's perfectly fine. Technically, you're only supposed to, you only need 3 full threads engaged for it to perform to its rated capacity. That's what I learned a long time ago. I think I'm saying that right. So those are also heavy duty nuts, so we're definitely good on those. And I think these 3 are fully engaged. The nut is, the bolt is sticking right out the back. Now, we could not fit the washers on there. Those are an 1/8 inch, at least an 1/8 inch thick each. But you really don't need washers in a case like this, because this metal plate is a giant washer, essentially. Now, these are the screws that I added to the design on my own accord. And these are, I have the box of these down there. These are rugged structural screws. Shoot, I can't see the box. Maybe I'll show it when I go down. But these things are strong. They're 4 inches long, real big, beefy threads. They're a replacement for lag bolts, but you don't need to pre-drill. And I was able to use these here because, you know, honestly, looking at this now, I probably could have used them here too. But I had plenty of room to work. So I wanted to angle it into the wood a little bit, and I had enough clearance. Sorry, I'm not even looking at the camera where it's pointed. I had enough clearance here. So looking at this again, I probably could have put them here too. But these are the SDS 25300. Those are also very strong screws. Over here, I had a little trouble because of the tight clearance there. So I couldn't use the RSS screws there, but now these actually do help for sure. And once I had this whole thing bolted together and tightened down, there's a small gap over here between the metal and the board. And once I put these screws in, it sucked it right into that. And this thing is solid. So that came out great. Super thrilled that that is done. I got one more to do over there, and we are coming back tomorrow I really don't work on Saturdays all that often, but the roofers want to finish the shingles and somebody's got to be here with them. So one of my guys is coming first thing to meet them about 8 o'clock, and I'm gonna relieve him late morning and probably stick around much of the day, which I'm not really thrilled about that, but we'll see. I might be able to get somebody to relieve me, but I'm gonna do that other one tomorrow. And now you probably saw the holes I had to drill up there in the joist right next to the bracket, and that was so that I could use my drill to go straight into the hole. And I mean, this was a very technical part of this job, and it was not easy. Those bolts did not want to line up. We got them all through the first plate and through the wood, which basically just means I was able to keep that hole centered on the outside. I marked it properly and was able to center the drill bit on my mark well enough that they all went through. But when the bolts were sticking out the other end where the nuts are, that back plate did not want to go on them. And I messed around with it for a little while, taking certain ones out, trying to see which one was the most out of whack. And I managed to get 4 of the 6 through in one shot. And then I marked the plate to see how much I had to adjust it. And then I brought that plate back down, and I used my cordless die grinder with a carbide tip on it, carbide bit, and I had no idea these things worked so well on metal. I honestly didn't think it would work at all, but this thing is my savior today. It widened those holes no problem. These things are awesome. And I bought this about a year ago, this die grinder. I barely ever use it. A die grinder is basically, if you know what a Dremel is, a die grinder is like a Dremel on steroids. And a lot of mechanics garages use these with an air compressor, but with the state of cordless battery, or cordless tools these days, they started coming out with these with the batteries, and this thing's great. I love it. It's one of my new favorite tools. So this bit in here is a carbide bit, which means it's, I don't know all that much about what carbide is, but it is harder than steel. So you can cut steel with carbides. And see, I don't really know how it's made or anything. I want to look into that. But a lot of saw blades have carbide teeth on them, and I believe this has carbide teeth. Those edges of the teeth are welded on when this thing is made. I've seen videos of that. It's a pretty cool process. I think these are carbides. These are super thin. This is a thin kerf blade, but I'm just showing you what carbide is. And when you see blades that say, they'll go through nail embedded wood, or those are usually carbide blades, and those things last a lot longer than a regular steel sharpened blade. So once I get the other bracket installed on that side, everything is ready. All the temporary shoring can come out. This whole building's ready to stand on its own. Now, it sounds like they're leaning towards not doing that change order and losing one of their garage bays. Right now, at this point, they're thinking about filling in this well because they don't use it, and just putting the post for the jack centered, the posts, the whole jack itself would be centered on the second door. This way they still have headroom if they need to get up on top of the van when it's on the lift, which you don't really see why they'd ever have to do that. But so still waiting on confirmation for that. So I don't really care either way. But that's where they're leaning with that. So, oh yeah, these are the screws. GRK, they're a great hardware company. Rugged structural screws, 5/16 inch diameter by 4 inch long. Stronger than 1/2 inch diameter lag screws. So structural screws are always stamped on the top, and they're tested, and they maintain a quality standard in manufacturing so that their certification can be trusted. So like this head on this screw says GRK RSS 7x100, 7x100. Not really sure what that means, but you know, they always have that stamp visible on the outside so that once it's installed, an inspector can see what was used. And even bolts have that stamp. Let's see, these are the bolts we're using up there. This bolt says 307A CYI. I think the nuts say it too. This one says TSDII. I don't know. Don't really care exactly what that says. Oh, this is the seam tape roller. It's got these little Z's on it too, so that when you put the pressure and roll the tape, it leaves its mark so you can see that it's already been rolled. So what else? I think that's it for the night. And the last one here, somebody left already and closed the gate on me, but this is a total mess. I do not like leaving jobs like this. I'm gonna clean a little bit. I gotta just put some of my tools in my truck, and I'm just gonna clean some shit that's out there. But we're coming back first thing in the morning, and this place is pretty much shut down during the weekend. So if it wasn't such a long day and so late right now on a Friday, I would have definitely done a better cleanup job. This is an embarrassment to me, but anyway, I will probably have another video tomorrow, and I'm hoping this roof is done. So thanks for watching, and have a good night. Today is Saturday, July 20th, 2024, and it's about 5:25 right now. We got our roof is probably getting finished in a little while. Now I got here about 11 or 11:30, and I was able to finish my other bracket on the truss. Have to excuse the loud noise. They're still putting shingles down, but just show you real quick. This is the other bracket. Now this truss is officially done. So I was able to use the 4-inch screws from yesterday on this side. Got everything nice and tight, pretty much as tight as I could make it. On the back side, because of that rafter tie in the way, I used a different screw that was only, I think, only 1.5 inches long. But since it wasn't even really necessary to begin with, these are what I used on the back side. I don't even know what brand those are. So I think on Monday we're gonna come here and try to get the rest of this temporary wall taken apart. All of our shoring. Might try to get some of the old joists out of our way, except we're kind of using those still to hold up the electrical. So until that gets moved, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it. But this is it. It's a good day. Usually we don't work Saturdays, but these guys want to get as much done as possible. So anyway, I'm gonna head out for the day. It's still really loud. I got one of my other guys coming to make sure these guys clean up well. And I'll see you next week. Have a good one.